see it in the configuration that we're going to deliver to the launch pad, and then this will get mounted on top of the launch vehicle. So Andre, if you could turn it so we can see the solid rocket motor on the bottom. Go to a side shot. There we go. When we get through that first descent burn, as we approach the moon, the solid rocket on the bottom is going to be completely spent. It'll just be dead weight now in the spacecraft, and so we'll jettison it shortly before we get to the surface of the moon. So go ahead and hide that, Andre, so they can see what the landing configuration looks like. Thank you. And we'll look back again to the ISO view. Sure. Right. So now when the spacecraft lands, this is what it's going to look like on the surface of the moon. You can see the solar panel on top, the blue area. As we discussed earlier, it doesn't have an actuator. It's big enough, and it's going to have enough. The solar array is going to have enough area to collect the light that we need to turn it into electricity and run the spacecraft for the 8 days that we're going to be on the surface of the moon. If you can go to a pure side shot so we can see the thrusters. There we go. Here, right in the front, you see one of the small thrusters, and the second one over here. These 50-pound thrusters are going to be used for our final descent and landing. So once we've dropped off that large motor, the spacecraft is still going to need some propulsion to come down the last few kilometers to the surface of the moon, and that's going to be our primary thrust mechanism. If you could spin to the bottom view, you can actually see there's 3 of them out here, 1, 2, 3, and those are the same rockets that are going to take us off again when we do our hop to the secondary landing zone. And there are some smaller auxiliary thrusters. There's 2 of them visible here and 2 on this side that will help with total attitude control. The entire thing is going to be rocket propulsion controlled. And those are fed by these fuel tanks that you see on the side. So there's a triad of fuel tanks on there, so we can keep the fuel balanced, keep the center of mass right in the middle of the spacecraft the whole time. And so there's going to be very little uncertainty in terms of the dynamics of the spacecraft as it does these maneuvers. Go back to the ISO view again. Great. You can see here on this mast we have our camera, and the camera is going to have to stand up on that mast and pan around the landing site so we can get that full 360-degree view that's required by the rules of the competition. It'll be stowed. You can see it's on a pivot there. It's actually going to be stowed. Is that something you can actuate? Great. Okay. So you can see here it's stowed. This is the configuration it's going to be in during launch, because to have a mast like that out on a long boom during launch is it's too much vibration, so we're going to have it stowed down and have to deploy it for use once we've landed. You can see these green antennas that are shown around the spacecraft. That's how we're going to communicate from the moon all the way back to Earth. And we've done a full link analysis where we know how much power we need to broadcast through those, what data rates we can get, and we've got margin on how much time and data. How much time we have to send the data that we need from the moon back to the Earth. And by data, I mean the images that we've taken, and the video that we've taken. And this is a downlink. I mean, we downlink a film or a video or a photograph on the internet. It takes a certain amount of time. It's going to take us several hours to get our photographs down or video down. But the system has been sized to do that efficiently. By efficiently, I mean with a minimum amount of power to keep the solar array small. With a minimum amount of mass, we don't have to have really large antennas. So all of this, again, is compact and streamlined and focused exclusively on winning that grand prize and accomplishing the mission.
And everything you just kind of finish it up with, that's it. That's show the full. This is our $20 million winning spacecraft.
That's right.
This is what we came up with. This is what we feel is going to be the best. We're going to take this and we're going to fly from location A to location B.
And so we've done a good systems engineering analysis of what it takes to win this prize, what kind of system we need, and this is the craft to do it. It's the fewest number of systems put together to accomplish the mission. And this is the craft that's going to win the next X Prize for this. And this is the craft that's going to win the next X Prize.
And when do you feel that this will be ready to launch?
Let's see, when do we feel it's going to be ready to launch? Well, right now our baseline is we're going to be launching in the middle of 2014 to get up there and get there before the end of the deadline in the competition itself. So
that's great.
Okay.
Perfect.